In 3 years of work in 45 days, someone is losing job.
Modi ji also came up, okay, obesity, you're not talking of your pains, what you have gone through it, but that's very, very evident, right from your US to China to coming back to India.
In fact, there are two American companies who have copied us, trying to bring India to the center spot for responsible nutraceuticals worldwide.
And if it is a supplement, then are you clear why you are taking it?
The story is powerful.
And I think that speaks volume.
We have, you name it, and we have some coming us like seriously. It's like Kumbh Mela you're trying to organize, right? So I'm not here to impress anyone.
You are clearly differentiating the quality, the premiumness, and
कौन अपनी नौकरी पे खतरे पे डालेगा?
if your people are healthy, obviously our productivity goes higher.
Intent is clean, the people automatically gravitate towards it.
I mean, I saw one of the Instagram saying Ozempic ka natural answer, Burberry. Welcome everyone. Here is Nirupama Khare again in Me with a podcast which talks about your inner journey. In Me is all about you. In Me is all about what we are made of, what uniqueness we have. And today, again, I have the privilege of welcoming a guest who is, in itself, he has a big list of accolades. And I would take few moments to talk about his the various recognitions he have got. So allow me to share about him. Amit Srivastav, he is our guest. Thank you, Amit, for accepting our invite and being here on In Me podcast. A little about you from my end, and please add more to it. So Amit is a founder and chief catalyst of Nutrify today, and he's an architect of India's $100 billion nutraceutical vision. Wow, what a vision to have. That speaks volume about Amit's visionary thought process as well as how he is building up this nutraceutical empire. Amit Srivastav is a trendsetter in the nutraceutical industry, from innovation to regulatory and government and to building startup ecosystem. Nutraceutical world has recognized him as the industry leader with extensive experience in supplement ingredients, medical foods, in domestics and global market in nutraceutical world. So, as a founder of Nutrify today and Whole Food magazine, Amit has positioned India beyond manufacturing and shaping standards for scientific innovation and investment potential for nutraceutical area. There's a huge list for me to speak out, but I will still not miss out that his flagship initiative, the Nutrify C-suite Sumflex, that is one of the major discussions, and we will understand more from him. So here we are with Amit, building a responsible nutrition. So over to you, Amit. Welcome to In Me.
Thank you very much.
So, Amit, would you like to add a little more to your introduction?
You've already done a lot, so there's nothing much to talk about. Just that, yes, I've been driving Nutrify today. Responsible nutrition is certainly an agenda that we have at Nutrify today. And the way we are building it is taking nutraceutical industry of India as a central hub to the next quantum growth of this industry world over. That's all we have been doing, and as of today, seems to be doing good.
Wonderful. And it's great to see you, Amit. And one piece of introduction just for the viewers is that Amit and I have been in college together at VIT Mesra, so that adds to the friendship piece. But the way I've seen you from college to now, it is not a normal journey. I from college days to now, it's a transformative journey about you. So please tell us what is in you that makes you you, and what happened that this transformed Amit Srivastav is sitting in front of me.
Uh, Nirupama, in my case, I've lived various shades of life. And this shade of life is a cumulative evolution of where I've reached. Like we all have lived different shades of life since our college days or since our birth, actually.
Yes.
Uh, so been in the US and then in China for almost 7 years, moved back to India, and I happened to actually got lucky to work with one of the best pharmaceutical companies in India, where I was entrusted to set up their nutraceutical business. And as I started that, I realized that India, India has a lot of opportunities, a lot of enterprising startups, amazing supply chain, but then all bits and pieces operating in silos. It took almost 2.5 years to 3 years for me to get a very high-end product launched in India for the company I was working with.
Okay.
And what I realized is that thanks to the company I was working with, I had the resources to go travel all over the country to put all the good pieces together to get you know, the real good product out in the market. Not everyone can do it.
True.
And that is what got me to thinking that, there's so much of silos. How can an innovator sitting in remote or any part of the country can actually commercialize his or her product?
Mm.
Because the process of supply chain is completely broken and in silos.
True.
So in that journey, what I realized is working for a large company and trying to integrate a supply chain that's not part of my KRA will not serve the purpose that started framing up in my mind, that how do I create democratization of supply chain
Mm-hmm.
based on merit.
Okay.
And that got me to leave my job and join Government of India, a major project in Vizag where I set up uh, a nutraceutical incubation park. It's a 350-acre campus. Uh, Idea was that any innovator can walk in with an idea, whether it is fund requirement, lab, prototyping, R&D scale up, regulatory clearance, everything is there right there in the campus. You don't have a place to stay. Recently, I came to know they have put up a hostel. So just stay there in the
Oh,
campus, work. So long story short, it worked very well. We have had innovators from across the country, including large cities like Mumbai,
wow.
flying into Mumbai and flying into Vizag and being part of this campus. Uh, and this campus gave birth to some of the great successful companies like Espera Cancer Nutrition, Onco Nutrition, sorry,
Mm.
uh, and then many more such companies that came out of this campus who have gone global. So to certain extent, I did achieve the purpose. I quit my corporate world and joined the government. But the bigger challenge was, look, Vizag is in one corner of the country.
True.
Not that the entire country will start running to Vizag to, leverage this ecosystem. So I had two options. Option one was leverage the government network in setting up similar campuses across the country. And trust me, it's not easy. So it takes a hell lot of time.
I
Uh,
can I can trust that.
yeah. So the second thing was that, can I use technology? Well, I know that there will be people who will be missed out who are still with ideas, but then the people who have already done something, they have a prototype, proof of concept in place. Can I use technology to democratize supply chain, responsible nutrition, connect to the potential commercialization large companies who always on a lookout for innovation to fill up their product pipeline? Uh, So talking of technology, I tried to do it in the government, but then it was outside the KRA. That's when I said, you know what? When I left my corporate job world, it was very clear that I wanted to solve this problem for India. And hence I quit my government job to launch Nutrify today. I said, let me do it myself. And that's how Nutrify today was born. Long story short, it's been 6 years. We have worked with large number of startups, not only in India, but now there are startups from world over who connect with us in
Wonderful.
commercializing their innovation. Our technology platform we have built has not only helped supply chain leverage it to not only commercialize in India, but 13 other countries. And today we are working with very large organizations like Haleon, Dr. Reddy Nestle Health Science, Swan Pharmaceuticals, Bharat Serum, you name it, Reckitt Benckiser, US. So now these companies are working very closely on the next level of innovation using our artificial intelligence platform, which is Nutrify Genie. So that's the tech platform that not only designs innovative, differentiated, scientific nutraceuticals, but also generates uh, the lead pipeline for audited suppliers.
Okay.
And they can be startup, they can be large companies. So the merit is by innovation and science and not by the size of the company.
Okay.
And
Great.
now today we have 2,300 supply chain members who are plugged onto the system
Wow.
across 13 countries. So this shade of life is trying to democratize supply chain. And happy to share that this technology, the product is developed, made in India, and now serving 13 countries. In fact, there are two American companies who have copied us and have launched 3 years after we have been there in the market.
Okay.
So, and I'm all about now Nutrify today. So this shade of life is Nutrify today, serving the purpose of democratization and trying to bring India to the center spot for responsible nutraceuticals worldwide.
Wow, what a journey. And as I see that you have experienced every bit of nutraceuticals in terms of supply chain, in terms of regulatory innovation, where are we? And from there to come up with a vision of getting Nutrify in place and creating opportunities for many, many, startups. I think that's a brilliant, brilliant journey as I can foresee. And I'm sure you're not talking of your pains, what you have gone through it, but that's very, very evident, right from your US to China to coming back to India, working for corporates, and then coming up with Nutrify. Great, absolutely thrilled to hear about the way you have moved. Amit, so the next question which comes to my mind is, uh, I've been in nutrition for last 10 years,
Mhm.
and I could see that various small nutrition companies are coming up with putting up some ingredients together, and a product is developed and it is on the counter. Now, this is being taken up by our consumers who are less aware. They just see the ads and they are just pulling towards, they're getting attracted to those nutraceutical products. So there's something wherein that responsible nutrition is what you are focusing on. So I could see some pieces here, but what do you mean by responsible nutrition, and what is it that our viewers should know about it?
Okay. Look, responsible nutrition at Nutrify today starts with, of course, safety, efficacy, traceability,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the ethics of market communication. Now, of all these, the first two are very important. When you talk of safety, just because you're taking an extract from turmeric, which is curcumin,
Yeah.
which incidentally has a long term study data, but then there are more ingredients coming in. For instance, berberine, AMP activators, kind of a natural metformin hydrochloride
Yes.
that is being used for weight management or other health conditions. The bigger
Ozempic,
question,
it has been. I saw one of the Instagram saying Ozempic ka natural answer, berberine.
oh, look, this is what is super dangerous. The
Hmm.
way people are communicating. That's because, so let's start with fundamentals. What at Nutrify we are doing is, of course, we invariably work with pharmaceutical companies because they work with doctors, or even if they're going OTC, they're hardwired to put right question. Show me the proof. How does it work? What is mechanism of action? Is there synergy between ingredients that you're putting in? So that's the lowest hanging fruit for us. The challenge which exists in front of us is how do we address the startups and direct to consumer companies who, in their social media marketing, engage with uh, a not so right communication. And forget that, even in the formulation, just because there are three hero ingredient, you just mix them. Now, look, these are all biomaterials,
True.
okay? Organic biomaterial. They could be talking to each other, which you're not aware. And you have no idea how would they behave if when they enter into a larger biochemistry,
True.
which is the body. So there's no clarity, there's no forecasting available. I know no one gets into doing a toxicity study for nutraceuticals, but then the field of biochemistry has evolved to an extent where you could possibly do some kind of forecasting, in silico forecasting
Okay.
of toxicity. No one does that because there's no mandatory, there's no call for it, there's no ask for it.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, so as a company, look, we cannot be all over the way, all over the place, and we are not police. We are not the regulator. We are doing our bit. So we work, we choose our clients, and it's not that anyone who comes to us with money, we start working with them.
Mm.
Uh, we have declined projects where they said, oh, you know what, market demands this. I just want it, make it look innovative. So you don't have to do innovation if you already know what your client wants. Give it to them, but then don't come to me because I will talk science and you're not wanting to talk science. Right?
Right.
So we are controlling our bit, but then I think if you look at 15 years back to where nutraceuticals stand today, I think it's an evolutionary journey. 15 years back, there was no control at all. You
Mm.
could add anything, claim anything. It was a it was a free flow. We currently are working with companies who really mean science, and I'm very happy to work with even startups who mean science. So there are some good companies who are startup, well funded, but they are going by science first approach.
Mm. Mm.
Yes, we do work with them in their innovative portfolio design and commercialization. So, as an organization, we have brought in control by auditing and impaneling vendors who follow scientific criteria. If they want business from our ecosystem, they have to qualify into our standards. So
Okay.
that's where we bring in control. We choose our clients. We don't jump into anyone who is out there in the market. We're also collaborating with very large venture capitalists and educating them that not to just fund randomly because the story is powerful.
Yes.
Make sure that these startups bring in science, and I'm very happy to share that some of the venture capitalists actually took it seriously, and we have collaborated with them to scrutinize the this. product pitch that the prospective, uh, you know, the prospective startup
Okay.
reaches out to the VC. So we also scrutinize the technical part, the science part of it, before the VC actually proceeds on any other, activity. So we have been trying to bring in control in the ecosystem we operate at. We do work with government institutions. So we were quite active in forming nutraceutical task force that was under the chairmanship to principal scientific advisor to government of India. Uh, so a lot of policies have been shaped, but by the time they get into action, let us take into cognizance it does take time. So instead of just waiting for that to happen, we are adding our piece of contribution to the system by creating an ecosystem where the supply chain would love to get business, but if they want to get business, they need to meet certain quality and technical standards to enter our ecosystem to get business. So that's how we control. And talking of responsible nutrition that you had said,
Yes.
yes, Nutrify Genie platform evaluates each label claim. Uh, it has about as I said earlier, also, it has about 12 million, I think about 12 million curated data points on biochemistry, pharmacology, toxicology. So all this comes in handy. There's a CAD operating tool, which is computer-aided drug design tool. So
Yeah.
all this combined, the Nutrify Genie AI is able to create a complete mechanism of action pathway. uh, it also checks if there's any synergy between the ingredients. While it may look the most trending ingredient, but then if there's no synergy, what will happen is your dosage levels will go up to achieve a better outcome, and then
Mm.
it defies the fundamental, requirement. Look, it's a wellness product. You cannot keep loading a body with biomaterial just because there's no control. Right. So this platform is able to do all these checks, keep the dosage low,
Yeah.
uh, and that's why probably pharmaceutical companies love to work with us because we are able to provide actual clarity on how the product would work. We use the data to analyze and forecast what could be potential toxicity, 1 year down the line, 2 years down the line, or even 4 months down the line. So all this comes in handy. And to back it up, we have, you name it, and we have. So we have all the human trials of drugs,
Okay.
nutraceutical ingredients,
Okay.
and the AI goes and pulls out relevant clinical papers to support whatever designing of product that has happened. So
Wow.
that's how we work.
Sounds interesting. So, as I understand, Genie app has access to databases across, and you name it, and as you said, clinical trials or whatever information is available for that ingredient, all those things are available, and a good mix and match can be done so that we come up with a product which is good for the consumer, good for the organization, as well as it is responsible enough. So I think that is interesting, and I think it's a new concept in all in all when I look at Genie app. So wonderful. I'm sure pharmaceutical companies as well as others who are watching us and listening to us would definitely think about apps like Genie app when they're thinking about coming up with new nutraceutical products or planning to come up with something new or planning to add an ingredient in their existing product also. So with this, wonderful, Amit, uh, what takes me to the next level is that as a consumer is getting aware and we are coming up with responsible nutrition, I also hear you that regulatory bodies have done a great job, and still there's so much more to, for us to build in. So I think this is also for all the government and regulatory bodies who are listening to us, that there is a need to form more such stringent checks, because nutraceutical or wellness is the biggest category which is coming up next, and people are working towards preventive health, as I can see, and everybody is like more conscious, especially after corona. So with this, what do you think makes Nutrify, and I slightly digress from this conversation towards a flagship innovative initiative which you have taken up, which is C-Suite. So, would you like to throw some light on what is C-Suite all about and what is it about?
Sure. Look, I told you the fundamental need is responsible nutrition and democratization of supply chain. So
True.
while the technology Nutrify Genie has done substantial democratization, there are about 78,000 industry executives which are plugged onto the system today. Okay.
Wow.
And
Wow,
then
that's
so it
beautiful.
is already helping industry, not only in India, but as I said earlier, 13 other countries. Uh, we just thought that let's go a step ahead because whatever said and done, we are humans. So touch and feel will
Hmm.
never go away. So we cannot totally become virtual.
Yeah, the
And
sensory is required. Yes, you're right.
yeah, so we created the Nutrify Today C-Suite Sumflex with an clear agenda that look, we are not an event company.
Hmm.
Idea was, can we create something like World Economic Forum of Nutraceuticals in India? Can Mumbai be the Davos of nutraceuticals, where the health ministries from world over, the investors, the founders, the CEOs come down to Mumbai for policy shaping, trade deals, industry expansion,
True.
and in the process also facilitate the fundamental need of democratization. Uh, so in that journey, we created the C-Suite Sunflex in 2022. That's the first C-suite that went live. And look, none of us in our team in Nutrify today come from events background. We didn't really know if it would take off, but then we just did it. And sometimes when your intent is clean, the people automatically gravitate towards it. And this is what happened in C-suite. So it started, we were like a little scared that, at least 100 people should show up. Otherwise, it would be embarrassing. It's just that it became 180 people who turned up on
Oh.
that day. And as the name is C-suite, so it's not open for all. It
Hmm.
has to be very senior executives from the industry. So, and then we didn't have to turn back ever. It went up to 400 odd participants in subsequent. In fact, it started only moving up, and from 2025, we made it by invite. So people cannot buy a ticket and just hop in. Uh, just to make sure that you have to qualify to be on the invitation list. And it's not that we are trying to look choosy. We're just trying to, address a point that if a CEO is coming to a summit, look, CEO already has immense pressure of work and turnover and whatever outcome that he or she has to deliver to the company. Uh, I better make a ROI sense for the CEO to spend a day, 2 days actually at the Sunflex.
Very thoughtful of you. Very
Yeah.
thoughtful of you.
So what we did is we made sure that the CEOs of whether the buyer or sellers actually have an agenda. So we screen based on the agenda, the need statement of a buyer company, a need statement of a seller company. We do a lot of effort. Of course, we have an AI, so it becomes faster, but we do put in a lot of effort of mix and match and explore opportunities that if I call these two companies, it would make a good conversation and some output. So we started, so 2025, we made it by invite, and 2026, we are going ahead with even sponsorship by invite. So you just cannot walk in that I want to sponsor and be there. So now it's the guests are by invite, even the sponsorship is by invite, so that it becomes a solid, meaningful. Look, as I told you, we are not an event company. We really want to quantify outcome,
Yeah.
and the mission is to, or the vision is to really be the World Economic Forum of nutraceuticals. So to reach there, we have to deliver outcome. I cannot show that, oh, 25,000 people came to my show. I
Right.
don't care. Ultimately, in this world, it's all about mila kya,
True.
right? Because there are already so many great shows with 25,000. I saw somewhere recently an ad, 400,000 people coming. I was like, seriously, it's like Kumbh Mela you're trying to organize.
Yeah. But you are clearly differentiating the quality, the premiumness, and not for the fact that it is the in thing to be, but because you're looking forward for every minute is converted to ROI. Investments are
Exactly,
absolutely your priority. And I think that speaks volume.
exactly. So this is very important. Look, Nutrify today, I mean, I quit my job. Even
Hmm.
had I stayed back in government, I was anyway board of directors, CEO. It was all comfortable. If I'm doing this and it's sixth year now, uh, I better deliver the purpose. I quit all those job world, right? So I'm not here to impress anyone. I'm here to make sure that this democratization really happens and the country, India, gets its due recognition as a hub of responsible nutraceutical. It's a long journey, look, so it's not going to happen instantly. But good thing is it's happening, it's progressing.
Wonderful. So, I'm sure all the dates and all are being talked, is already in place, and you have already
Yeah, it
started
is.
working for C-suite. So, may I know when is it? What are
It
the
is
dates?
fourth. It is 4th and 5th of June.
Okay,
And Nirupma, you'll be, as an Indian, be proud to realize that this is one event uh, where the world converges. You will have people from the US, Brazil, South Africa, of course, ASEAN, other Asian countries. Uh, what I've seen is most of the other events, and I'm not intending to compare with them because look, they are events. We look like event, but there's no intent of becoming an event company.
true.
Idea is again high quality democratization. Let's talk business, let's talk policy, and let's see what we can do inter-country for trade expansion. As simple as that. And those things can happen when owners, investors, CEOs come together and talk. And of course, the government guys.
Wonderful. What a great initiative C-suite is all about. So 4th and 5th June, as you're looking forward to, what I pick up from here is ownership and accountability along with quality is very, very high when you talk about this program. It's
It
about a
is.
conglomerate of people who are owning the nutraceutical empire and taking a step forward as to what best we do so that our consumers get the best of the product. Their health is a priority, and I think that is coming to me as a most important piece which I pick up from here. And congratulations to you for running this, the sixth year you're running it. So great job, Amit. And with this, few last one question on my list is, while we understood your challenges while you were talking about your journey, but what is that one challenge, if taken care, gives that quantum leap to nutraceuticals in general or for you and your organization?
Okay. I think it's slightly a tough question because look, I told you when I started Nutrify today, uh, I did mention that entire supply chain, it's not an India story, it's worldwide the same story.
Sure.
Highly staggered silos, mom and pop business. Okay. And I've been out there to streamline something which was anyway going on without me also. It's not that by me coming in, the world changed. It will change, but the regular life of this industry still continue. If it took 2, 3 years, that's how the brain got,
You
tuned
do.
in. It's a 3 year thing. So like we say it's a 9 months thing. So that's where the big,
Shift.
the challenge comes in. And
Yeah.
now that 9 months recently, we have prototyped to 60 days. I've been saying, boss, let's bring it down to why cannot be 45 days? So for a 3 year of activity and talking of 45 days, either I am mad or else there's a serious technology disruption, which the world is not ready to accept it because the first impression you get is, boss, if you're doing 3 years of work in 45 days, someone is losing job. Now, that's not the reason we built this. In fact, that's the reason Nutrify Genie we launched in 2023. 1 year, no, I mean everyone was like gaga about it, but no one touched it because कौन अपनी नौकरी पे खतरे पे डालेगा. Then slowly they started using bits and pieces of Genie, and they found that their work got real fast. And then they realized that uh, they can give this output to their management. So their job continues, just that now they're able to deliver much more than what they were delivering. So it's been quite a journey. Uh, so if I have to answer, Amit, what is that one big thing? Uh, I think at Nutrify today, let's keep Nutrify today aside. If there can be a real scientific enforcement from regulator,
Mhm.
Nutrify today will be the first beneficiary. Reason being, then companies will start looking out how to handle this because today you just mentioned in Instagram, someone said that berberine is the GLP-1 nonsense, whatever they said. So now all that needs to go. Someone needs to enforce. Someone, I know regulator has its own challenges because uh, India is a large country, and to deal with enforcement, you need a lot of manpower, a lot of intelligence, and let us also respect the point that the FSSAI is very young since its
For
existence. See, drug
nutraceuticals,
drug
yes.
controller has been there for ages. The
Yes, yes.
FSSAI is a baby. I mean, if you go by comparison, and if you look at what it was 7 years back to what it is today, I think it is moving towards the right direction. But yes, I know it will take time. Only thing is, if it could be relatively faster, it's easier for me to say because I do not know the intricacies and challenges of regulator. But I'm sure they intend to do it faster, and they're already doing it in their best of their capacity. So I'm only waiting for the day when the enforcement becomes strong enough that the casual treatment to this industry goes out. In fact, one thing for sure, I also need to recommend to the industry and to the regulator that the word supplement needs to go away because when you say supplement, your mind prepares yourself for a tissue paper in a buffet that you go and eat,
True.
right? So you need food. Tissue paper is you may use it to clean your hand. Supplement, the English word is the English word or the way Oxford Dictionary describes it, something extra. That's nonsense.
It is the thing.
Yeah. So look, on one side, there are enough clinical papers showing, which are published, that effective nutraceuticals help maintain wellness. But when you maintain wellness, it also helps government exchequer because so many less number of people land up in hospital. Or you have, if at all you're going to get into a healthcare problem, a health situation, uh, at least it may get deferred. What you may have at age of 40, you may end up having it at 60. So one, good for yourself. Two, good for the country because you're not unnecessarily loading the infrastructure of the country. Okay.
True.
So, so all that the thought process of supplement needs to go away because I get a lot of builders reaching out to us. Oh, we have money. We want to put up nutraceutical because my kid has grown up. I want to do something meaningful for him. Nonsense. Do you even have a sense what you're trying to do? Why don't you do pharma? The regulator would never allow you.
Amit, it just reminds me, and this is like all to the medical colleges also. I'm sure they have changed some curriculum, but being in nutrition organization, we realize that doctors spend very less time studying nutrition. They understand the drug piece and the complete anatomy and physiology very well, and hats off to that piece also, because that is in itself a huge piece they are taking care of. But things which can be managed by nutrition, the food itself, the body itself is a healer, and on that, if you have the right nutrition, most of the things are taken care of. What you're speaking about is a healthy country. What you're speaking about is, if your people are healthy, obviously our productivity goes higher. And you're
Absolutely.
deferring that what can happen in 40 happens in 60, or it is maybe, so that also is a big data shift you are doing. And the kind of load the infrastructure would have is very low, as you're rightly pointing out. But the point is, what challenge is coming to you as well as to every viewer, I would say, is, are you looking at your nutrition? I think recently Modi ji also came up, okay, obesity, he actually talked about obesity. And think of it, if everybody started becoming a little more cognizant about it, we would have healthy nation. The healthy nation is getting prepared for. I think
Yeah.
let's look at a larger picture wherein the productivity is just going to go higher. We have young force. Many countries like Germany have very senior citizens. Rather, India that way has a good population of young adults. And nutrition definitely can be at the core of it and not the drugs. So, right now, drugs are at the core of healthcare. I'm looking for an era where nutraceutical is at the core of the healthcare and drugs are the supplement. That's the shift one should have. What do you think?
It would eventually happen. So there are some countries who are actually more stringent and the result is very much there. Look at Australia, TGA,
Mm,
or to certain extent even EFSA. You really need to prove your science to really get your product moving. Uh, Although thanks to the e-marketplaces, irrespective of enforcement, the products which are not scientific still make their way into the home of a consumer. So look,
true.
all that will keep happening, but on a larger context, uh, quite impressed with the way TGA has structured, or to certain extent EFSA. So it's all about
Okay.
enforcement, regulatory, stringent. Uh, that should bring about sanctity in the industry. Otherwise, uh, it would, I mean, I would still say still progressing, evolving. So I would not say bad. It's slow, but then look, we do not know, as I said, we do not know the challenges and intricacies in running a regulatory organization, right? So the intent is there because if intent was not there, whatever enforcement has been brought in, even that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, you're true when you say this, what regulatory is going through. But the point is, an aware consumer, more aware consumers will bring automatically lot of changes.
So
Those products
Nirupma,
will actually go off shelf.
yeah, this is where it's a chicken and egg. So India, as
Hmm.
I said, is a big country, huge population. We all take example of Singapore, where probably the entire country would be would be equal to the region that you are staying in NCR.
Yeah.
Okay. So relatively easier to manage. But then point here is that even they took forever to have, and I don't know if they have still succeeded, but still have a better awareness drive amongst their citizen. The other way around is if a citizen has access only to good products. So whether, in a simple analogy,
Yeah.
uh, I can buy a Maruti car or a Kia or whatever other companies are there. I would not end up buying an unknown brand talking big with heavy pollution that it creates,
True.
right? Because the regulatory system has made it in such a way that the bare minimum quality standards the vehicle have to maintain to be there in the market, right? Taking this analogy, I went way far off, but taking this analogy, bringing it here by making stringent rules and then uh, enforcing it. I know that there could be a resource crunch. You could do it sporadically. In fact, it did happen 2 years back, I guess. FSSAI went on a massive raid across various contract manufacturing facilities. Many were shut down. So
Yes.
it sent ripples across a very good message that, boss, you cannot get away doing nonsense in this
True.
industry. So this incident should be uh, in cycle. Of course, no one needs to know when that cycle will come because after that, nothing happened. So
Mm.
there has been a lull again. So even if you do random, enforcement, it will
Audit.
keep
Yeah.
the industry at toes. And when consumers get controlled products in the market, whether you take by X or Y or Z product, you still will end up with something good. There will always be still be a gray zone where, you know, intentful wrongdoers will find ways to do it, but then that will become smaller.
True. No, I think you well said. I think this example is absolutely great where, the regulatory went for a great audit across and many ingredients, many factories, many companies were, questioned on the kind of products they have, the kind of documents they have to show. And that was a good message. But yes, what is the ultimate goal of doing such an audit is very important because at the end of the day, we should not harass people who are coming up with responsible nutrition and still, people who are there below, not following the regulatory stringent acts and still having their products on the shelf. So those kind of things have to be still, bridged in. That gap is clearly seen. And with this, a lot of discussion has happened around in nutrition and nutraceuticals. So thank you, Amit, for your time. And definitely this podcast would reach to many viewers, and it would be great to listen from all of you who are watching as to what is your awareness level and what is your role. What role will you play to ensure that you're taking the right nutrition and not taking it as a supplement? And if it is a supplement, then are you clear why you are taking it? So, with this, thank you, Amit. Thank you for coming for this
Awesome.
podcast. In me has taken up so many inner journeys, and this journey was fantastic. So, have a wonderful day ahead as well as a great year. And we wish Nutrify a big, wishes in terms of taking it ahead and making the dream come true of $100 billion.
Thank
So,
you very
all the
much.
best to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.